We're on why it sucks to be a Spartan. We born a Spartan. We finna see this
over
shit.
the west bank of the Eurotas River as a new child is born. The child is kicking, crying, and screaming. But if you knew what was in store for the child, you want to let them be immature for a few more minutes. After all, it's the last time that they'll ever be allowed to cry. Welcome to Spartan, kid, where your life
It sounds like growing up in a black household with a black father. Yup, this gives me memories. It reminds me of my damn talk. My dad gave me some good thing. I understand why he would say that shit to me. But so fact, I would cry a lot. I cried a lot when I was younger. Damn, I'm about to grab a whole. Fuck it. I'll pretty much cry a lot. He be like, yo, boys don't cry, bro. He like, yo, stop what you crying for. Boys don't cry. I'm over here just not trying to get backhanded. Not trying to get fucking backhanded and shit. There was one time I got my ass whooped. I was getting my ass whooped every single time I came to New York. It was always some dumb shit. I would always get into some type of trouble. Oh, I fucking sound like my little brother. Oh. Fuck. So that's how my fucking dad felt dealing with me. Oh, damn. Oh, back to the video.
and death belong completely to your country. Your parents look at you proudly, expecting great things from you. As Spartans, their greatest wish is for you to go out into the field of battle and bring glory to Sparta. But before any of that can happen, you must first pass inspection. If you are a man, you are under scrutiny from the moment you were born till the moment you die.
Damn.
And all of it started with you were under scrutiny from the moment you were born till the moment you die. And
They go slide. Damn, nigga. They put you on a damn stick. They got your hand, they put your ass on the cross. They said, die for my sins.
all of it started with inspection. The way it worked was simple. Not long after your birth, you would be taken to Gerousia, a council of elder Spartans who would inspect you as if you were livestock. If the boy looked like he was physically or mentally handicapped, then he was of no use to the Spartan army. These infants would then be taken out in the wild and are left to fend for themselves. There have been some myths of babies surviving out in the wild.
Damn. Them niggas said, them niggas treat you like a goddamn fucking bear cub. They don't even know shit. Damn, you pop out the womb, you pop out the pussy like a straight dumbass. They literally do a whole checkup. Alright, little nigga straight, next. Alright, little nigga straight, next. You don't look too right. Slash, next. Like, and then after you get fucking inspected, see if your body right or some shit, or you mental or physically fortitude or some shit. Yeah, it's gonna throw your ass in the wilderness like Tarzan. Ah, hell no. I cannot do this shit.
For long periods of time, and sometimes
Wow! What? Stranger danger! I don't think he want to adopt. I just think he want his butt. Cause the way his fingers look, nigga got the hands of a Captain Underpants comic.
they get adopted by people who found them. But most of these babies would end up dead less than a week later. But if you survived inspection, then congratulations, because you just got yourself a one-way ticket to a life of discipline, hard work, and the worst body odor imaginable.
Man. Niggas, at this point, make me a goddamn. My face gonna be. I'm not kidding you. Actually, I'm trying to get monetized for this shit. I'm trying to get my shit monetized. So hey, I'd say the bullshit jokes.
Right from their birth, Spartan children were groomed into tough and manly men. They weren't bathed in water. Instead, they were bathed in barrels of wine. Some of the children would have a bad reaction to the wine, but all that it meant was a couple more children to eliminate, and fewer weak soldiers on the battlefield. From the moment you were born, you were expected.
Okay, so my question is, what was the purpose for the wine? No. Did it explain like what was the purpose of wine?
They weren't bathed in water. Instead, they were bathed in barrels of wine. Some of the children would have a bad reaction to the wine, but all that it meant was a couple more children to eliminate, and few.
Wait. So what? Wait. So what was the purpose of Spartan's wine? I said tens. Oh well. Fitness test for infants. This is the primary purpose of practice. The ancient historians. Plutarch. Oh, I can't. I'm having a fucking mental stroke doing it. Plutarch noted the Spartans believed that weak babies could console, console or cry when being convulse or cry when being wine, while strong babies would be made more resilient by the experience. But I want to know what it like. Okay, but what did it do? As far as being born the wine, the test strength had to ensure only a robust. What was the strength like? How did it? Okay, so how did it test strength? A weak baby was believed to react poorly to a powerful alcohol. What the fuck you expect? I just came out. I just popped up the pussy like last week, and you think I'm just going? I bet. Let me just take a bubble bath in wine. Like, nigga, Jesus ain't make this water wine. So why the hell do you think I'm pissed about this shit? Oh, which can help influence from infection as in without modern medicine. Okay, makes sense. But you just gonna kill the little Nicholas all for the sole fact of, damn, I may have just got a fucking rash or some shit because of this damn shit. You're not gonna just say maybe that or some shit. Okay, I guess. But damn.
Fewer weak soldiers on the battlefield. From the moment you were born, you were expected to be tough and independent. If you ended up crying or complaining for whatever reason, then your parents would completely ignore you. This way, you learned that you have to fight for everything you want.
Huh. Sounds a little bit like my childhood. Granted, I wasn't ignored growing up. I was more of forgotten. Let's just say that. Like, like my family growing up, they didn't ignore me. They just only forgot for the sole fact. I kind of grew up that fucking. I grew up a quiet kid who ain't ask for shit. So like when I truly did ask for shit, like I would get anything I want. And over the time, I kind of like had issues and shutting down over time because of that. It's kind of bully a little bit. But hey, I'm the nigga you see today.
You are also conditioned to not fear darkness or solitude. There are stories of babies being left in the dark on their own so that they get used to it. Why? Because you had to become the perfect soldier.
I know some niggas who still use a light. I said a light. Still use a nightlight to this day. So
The boy, the only career choice you had was to become a soldier. Even thinking of having any dreams or aspirations outside of joining the military was not allowed. These
so born to
soldiers, better
die.
known as hoplites, were the backbone of Spartan society. and they lived by one rule: return with your shield or on it. And the training to be one of them started right.
Return with your shield or on it. What? Return with your shield or on it. Wait, what did he say? Return with your shield or on it. What the fuck does that mean?
Return.
Yeah, hold up. I'm gonna do a whole bunch of research for this video. Hold on. So a warrior was. Oh, okay, so I don't know why I took that time right it. Okay, so a warrior must return victorious with their shield or not at all. Returning dead on their shield after honorable death in battle. So be born to fucking die. So it's pretty much like if Trump just bro, it's probably gonna happen. It's like if Trump fucking says, okay, let's just shut down basic retail, right? Basic therapy, right? Basic mental health necessities, and just matter of fact, if we want to bring it back to Rome, I think fuck doctors. We think we gonna ban doctors for this. We gonna ban doctors, everyone. If you gonna be born, you gonna born in this military. Leave the rest of the shit to the women. That would be fucking Sparta. So what happened like after like if you like how do you go like no okay I'm thinking of like the whole history class of Rome now. Okay, so now I'm gonna really think of my history class of Rome. So when I'm thinking I'm assuming that you became a leader by your family. I believe it was like you're a leader by your family, which I believe. Again, I just believe that's how it went. What the fuck? Like I knew they had like a council or some shit. So how do you become a part of the council? Like after a few years, you like okay, cool. You're not fighting no more. Or some shit.
Return with your shield or on it. And the training to be one of them started ripe and early at the age of 7. This training was known as a goge, and every man in Sparta would be part of it until they reached the age of 30. The simplest way to describe this training is that if you had survived to age 7, congratulations, you're finally done with the easiest years of your life. Now, it's time for the real deal. You were put in the care of a paidonomus, which basically translates to boy herder. You would start at the first level of a goge, called the paids, which would last from the day you turned 7 until the age of 17. Then comes the paidoskoi, lasting from 17 to 19 years of age. And finally, the habantes, aged 20 to 29. Of course, you don't understand any of this, considering that you're just a spoiled 7-year-old brat who had lived a life of luxury compared to what's going to come next. If you thought not getting any love from your parents was bad, then imagine being packed in barracks with hundreds of other boys your age and trained day in and day out for 10 long years. The training regimen was extremely brutal and would push you to your absolute limits, and then ask you to give even more. Worse was how everyone else treated you. Spartans believed that feeding people as much as they wanted would lead to soft, fat soldiers, so they decided to give everyone slightly less food than what they would need, to make sure they don't get fat. If you felt hungry, you were encouraged to try and steal food from others or from the kitchen. But if you got caught, you would be punished. Not because you tried to steal, but because you were too weak to do it without getting caught. This meant that you had to protect everything you had and the food you received. If you were hungry, so was everyone else. And showing weakness would be your end. All that Sparta cares about.
So practically prison if we just made inmates prison which is pretty much prison. I don't know if the food is good or not, but pretty much prison if we just let prisoners join the fucking US military. That's pretty much all I'm getting here.
Is the cream of the crop, so the Paidanomas and other people in charge would intentionally cause fights between the boys to see who was the strongest. Hungry, young, and irritable, you would all be too happy to fight someone if it meant you could eat some more food. This hunger did lead to some benefits though. After all, when you were out on the battlefield and your rations were running low, years of feeling hungry meant that you didn't even feel a thing. While your opponents ran out of strength and felt hungry after hours of battle, you could still stand, strong as ever. Around the age of 12, the next step of your training would become. Everything you had, including your clothes, would be taken from you, and you would be sent outside to sleep in the wilds. All you would have is a red cloak, and from there, you would have to find
naked
shelter,
and afraid,
food, and water to sustain yourself or perish. And things would get even worse when the girls would visit. These girls would sing in assembly halls for the gathered elders and soldiers in training, and in their songs, they would single out kids who had been underperforming and make fun of them for everyone to see. In Spartan society, girls had to go through their own strict regimen, but I'll talk more about that later. But all of this,
if the men are just fighting, I could assume the women are doing everything else. So, like, no. If America was still like this, or I mean, not like still like this, America was like treated the shit like this, I'm not gonna fucking hold you. Yeah, look, I already don't fuck with the U.S. military. Oh, I'm fucking. Alright, look, I already said, look, I ain't serving country. Shit, I was serving that mug of sugar before I served this country.
abuse meant that by the time Spartan
But
boys reached adulthood, they were ready to withstand the pain, hunger, and cold of the battlefield. They had been taught the art of warfare, hunting, athletics, reading, writing, and poetry, and with these
whoa, when did they get? Wait, hold on, motherfucker. I want to know, when did they get time to learn how to read and write? How the fuck you have time to learn how to read and write if they too busy whooping my ass? You got me. At first, I come out the womb. You give me this. You give me this spank of birth or bank of life. You throw me into the woods like I'm Tarzan. I'm chilling that bitch for a good week. Then you got me training again, got back and forth, fighting for my life for a fucking piece of King's Hawaiian rolls. Get laughed, get laughed at because I fucked up singing in front of the huz. So when do I learn how to read and write from all that bullshit? Mo, it just sounds like prison. What's there the R word? And probably was.
skills,
Probably was
they were ready to
prevalent.
crush the enemy. But before they could become proper soldiers, they had to go through one last trial. This was the Dimasagosis, also known as the Contest of Endurance. Simply put, teen boys would be taken to the sanctuary of Artemis,
Oh
an
hell
important
no!
religious site dedicated to the goddess Artemis, and then would be flogged, sometimes to death. This practice was meant to not only test the boys' pain tolerance, but was also an important religious ritual in Spartan customs. Over time, it became highly famous all over Greece, to the point that visitors
I'm not gonna hold you. For all my black people out there who gotten that black ass whooping, and I'm talking with the switch, either with the belt with the bedazzled belt, a switch, an extension cord, or a branch. We surviving. Cause we might survive that one. Cause at a certain point, you won't used to the pain. It's like getting beat. It's like being old on the point where you're not gonna get beat no more. But when your parents try to beat you, it don't hurt. It's gonna be like pretty much just like that.
would visit just to see it with their own eyes, and the amphitheater was built to accommodate more people. Finally, if you somehow manage to survive all this, you can finally give yourself a pat on the back. Some of the worst years of your life were finally over, and you might get a couple moments to rest. At least, if there's not a war going on. And considering Sparta, that was never possible. And while the Agoge was bad, war was complete hell, where you would be left to fend for yourself or die. Luckily, years of training had taught you what to do, and so, more often than not, Spartan soldiers would claim victory, but it wouldn't come without sacrifices. The same thing went for women and marriage. As a man, your first and only duty was the glory of Sparta. For the first 30 years of your life, being a good soldier was all that mattered, which meant that there was little time for romantic relationships. At the same time, it was expected that men would get married early, mostly in the early 20s, to the point that if you weren't married by the time you were 30, you were ridiculed. But while you might be married,
so at that point, you're just maidenless. Damn. Niggas going around, damn, nigga, we ain't got no hoe. Niggas now talking about, yeah, you got no hoe, you got no hugs, you got no fine shit. They were talking about some, you were maidenless. Where is your mating? Where is old Sally Al or whatever the fucking Roman names are? Cause my name is like fucking Greek. Like a Greek name or Greek name.
Fellow soldiers wouldn't end until you're 30 years old, which meant you either had to sneak out at night to be intimate with your wife or stay a virgin forever. Or the third option was to do the
hey, I'm taking that risk. Cause a blue balls is a bitch.
deed with the other male soldiers living with you. Eventually, if you managed to survive all this and live to the age of 60, you would be given the chance to join the Gerousia yourself and raise a new generation of Spartan soldiers. On the other hand were the girls of Sparta, and they had a much easier time as compared to the men. Unlike men, they didn't have to go through inspection, and it's likely that all the infants killed were boys. Girls were generally trained in a much more different set of skills, from dancing and singing to even javelin throwing, so that they would be strong, healthy mothers. The duty of these girls was to give birth to an even stronger generation of Spartan men. Since most of the menial labor was done by slaves that Spartan men would capture on their exploits, women were given a high amount of freedom, and would often be the ones managing the house. As a woman in Sparta, you can even own land and inherit property, as well as get a proper education. You would also be put through a training regimen of your own, where you were built up to be just as strong as the men.
So you telling me Roman women had more rights than women than U.S. women when it came to feminism? That is insane. I'm not gonna hold you.
Who were training to go to war. Women who died in childbirth would be honored just as much as men who died on the battlefield. So, that's life in Sparta. At age 65, as you lie in your bed, you feel that death is
near.
At your
that ain't a bed.
Age 65, as you lie in your bed.
Bitch, you laying on cardboard. You laying on a goddamn pelt.
You feel that death is near. At your age, it feels more like a reward to die than anything else. You survive countless hardships, from losing loved ones to the pains of training to going to war and watching your comrades fall in battle. You survived, battle after battle, and even now, you have your shield with you. Hopefully, the next crop of Spartan soldiers can bring even more glory to this beautiful land. Your final thought, as you feel yourself slipping away, is that maybe this is how a Spartan is supposed to go. It would have been good to fall in battle, though, instead of dying alone in bed. But in the end, maybe this is all that a Spartan can ask for. If you like this video, make sure to hit that subscribe.
Wait. Imagine you getting no play. You fought your life. Imagine you did all your life, not even get a girl. I'm not gonna hold you. I would have been in my deathbed sick. I can't even get a taste of no pussy. Like, damn. Damn, bro. That's gotta suck. You spent all 60 years wanking your shit. Damn. That's kinda ass. Damn. The only way you're gonna get one is if you kind of snuck out. Damn. Alright, and I didn't even tell me the punishment. I know it's some hell. I know the punishment gotta be hell to sneak out. But
Subscribe button and like the video, or else I'll make you go through the Agoge and train for 20 years. Let me know in the comments below if you want to live as a Spartan, and make sure to watch this video on why it sucks to be born as a ninja.
W video, but I ain't living that damn fuck ass life. You're funny as shit. Hey man, that's a W video.